Well, hi, everybody. I'm Ranger Mannie Gentili, and I am here at Monocacy National Battlefield on just a temporary 60-day detail. So my colleague, Anthony Trusso, is going to get me all caught up, get me up to speed on what the story here is at Monocacy. So, Anthony, it's popularly called the battle that saved Washington. Put that into context for me.
Sure. So it's 1864. It's the third full year of the American Civil War. It's an election year as well. Abraham Lincoln is vying for his political future at this point. He's hoping for a lot of that. He's putting a lot of that on the battlefield. He's hoping that battlefield victories will ensure his reelection. And he's putting that also in one man, Ulysses S. Grant, a man who's had success out west, now is new to the East as General-in-Chief of all United States armies. And within 6 weeks, he has put and cornered Robert E. Lee back up against Richmond within 7 and 8 miles of Richmond and Petersburg. Lee doesn't like that, and Lee is hoping to turn the tables on Grant and Lincoln by doing something in the early summer of 1864. And that's how we get here to Monocacy.
Okay, what does that something look like?
That something is in the form of an irascible, cussing man who is considered by one historian to be only second to Jackson.
I'm guessing Jubal Early.
That's right, Lee's bad old man. And he'll take an army of 10 to 15,000 strong, head him out west to the Shenandoah Valley, push the Union force out of the way, and with the door open, Jubal Early is going to begin moving down or north through the Shenandoah Valley with the goal of capturing Washington, D.C.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Grant has pulled most of the troops defending Washington, D.C. down to reinforce his forces in Petersburg, correct?
That is right. He has pulled a majority of the men that had been garrisoning the forts around Washington, D.C., making it one of the strongest in the world. And now Washington's back door is wide open and pretty unguarded.
Okay, so it's super vulnerable, and here comes Jubal Early heading towards Washington, D.C. What's going to stop him?
Well, seemingly nothing until John Garrett, president of the B&O Railroad, is going to receive word from his railroad operators that, hello, there's this big Confederate force moving through the Shenandoah Valley. And Garrett sends up the alarm, but Grant doesn't take it fully. But one man does, a man who's sent to the backwater in Baltimore. This man with probably one of the best facial hairs in the entire war. You all out there can take a look at him. His picture is now up here on the video, and that's Lew Wallace. Lew Wallace is going to have the Middle Department with its western boundary here at the Monocacy River, and on his own, going to come out here and take command of a force of half veterans and that Grant is going to send at the last minute, half veterans and half 100 Days men that have never seen combat, and are going to park themselves here along the Monocacy River, blocking two roads, one to Baltimore and one to Washington, D.C., and seeing what Early does.
What's his total number of men?
But we're just over 6,000 men.
And you say Early might have as many as, 15,000?
Yes, it's a 3-to-1 advantage for the Confederate Army. And Wallace knows it, and Wallace knows he has no chance of victory, but he's only here as a roadblock. Stall them out as long as he can.
Is he successful?
He is successful in stalling them out.
I should have guessed, because this is called the Battle that Saved Washington.
That's right. But even so, at the time that Wallace is stalling out Early, Washington is pretty unguarded still. Grant has not reinforced it yet. But ultimately, Wallace in one workday, 9 to 5. Think of you all going to work from 9 to 5. Your job, though, that workday is to stall out a force that's bent on capturing your national capital. And you do your duty. And in one workday out here at Monocacy, Wallace does his duty. It's a tactical Confederate victory. It's the only time the Confederates win a battle north of the Potomac River.
But a strategic Union victory.
But strategically, Abraham Lincoln and Washington, D.C. are saved in the process.
The battle that saved Washington. Now I got it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Anthony. I'm looking forward to this 60 days here at Monocacy.
Absolutely, and we hope some of you out there in Facebook world come out and visit us.
Fantastic.
Alrighty. Thanks, everybody.